Journalist David Dayen of the American Prospect uncovered just how much of a scam the Corona bailout bill really is. Your coronavirus check is coming. Your bank can grab it. Regulators have given banks the green light to use stimulus funds to pay off debts that individuals owe them. This week, the $1,200 CARES Act payments Congress approved in response to the coronavirus crisis will begin to appear in Americans' bank accounts. The funds will be wired to eligible recipients who previously authorized the IRS to post their refunds or Social Security payments through direct deposit. This will speed relief far more quickly than having the IRS mail a check, which could take up to 5 months. But the money may not make it into the hands of those who need it to pay bills, buy food, or just survive amid mass unemployment and widespread suffering. Individuals might first have to fend off their own bank, which has just been given the power to seize the $1,200 payment and use it to pay off outstanding debt. Congress did not exempt CARES Act payments from private debt collection, and the Treasury Department has been reluctant to exempt them through its rulemaking authority. This means that individuals could see their payments transferred from their hands into the hands of their creditors, potentially leaving them with nothing. Congratulations to all the lefties who supported this. Congratulations. Even if this was a genuine provision where these people, everybody just got their $1,200, even if that's the case, I still don't think it was worth it. Because you got a $4.5 trillion bailout of corporate America with no strings attached, no oversight. So you can't just let corporate America loot the Treasury and say, hey, we got some crumbs for regular people in response. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. And what we've seen here, and it's becoming more and more obvious to people now, is that this was just like Naomi Klein's shock doctrine, what she describes, that you take a tragedy and you implement a pre-existing agenda in the fog of the tragedy. So you say, oh my God, look at this terrible thing that's happening. We have to address it. It's an emergency. It's dangerous. Here's what we need to do. And what you're doing is a bait and switch because you're just doing the thing that you always wanted to do. And in our case, it's codify corporate socialism as far as the eye can see. So, and this is not even capitalism, by the way, because in capitalism, if you fail, you fail. This is corporate socialism. The companies that have already made it to the top of the hierarchy, they're saying, we're not going anywhere because we can just loot the Treasury. So when the economy's doing well, privatize the gains. When the economy's doing poorly, socialize the losses. And that's why we've seen, there was an image that went viral, and it showed jobless claims hit an all-time high at the same time the market had the biggest rebound week. Why? Because there's a disconnect. The market does not reflect how your average person is doing. But it's a double whammy, because when the market does well, it's not that the people do well. It's that the rich do well, and the owners of the companies do well. The shareholders do well. But when the market goes bad, you do suffer. Regular people do suffer. So it's a double whammy in how it's not indicative of how you're doing, how the average person is doing. But, now look at this scam that they ran. What was the point? What was the point of passing a bill that gives the $1,200 to people if most people have debt and the debt collectors could just jack the $1,200 payments? What was the point? What was the point? The point was, I guess, to just give the money to the debt collectors. That was the point. But, you do realize just because you're legislating as if a problem isn't there, it doesn't mean that there's not actually a problem there. That these people who are hungry are still hungry. These people who can't pay the bills still can't pay the bills. These people who lost their jobs just lost their jobs. Guys, we went 3 million jobs lost the first week of this crisis. Then it was 6 million. Then it was another 6 million. Now we lost another 5 million. The economy is slowly imploding. It's actually not so slowly. It's rapidly imploding. We're looking at a Great Depression-like scenario. And even the window dressing crumbs that they're giving people are not actual crumbs. Even that has loopholes and scams in it. Your government is totally captured by the wealthy and corporations. And even the lefties who are supposed to be fighting and doing their thing, they get duped quicker than anybody has ever been duped ever. They are such marks. They are such marks. The idea that they didn't realize, yo, dog, you could hold this bill up, Bernie in the Senate, you could hold this up and say, I will block this unless and until you give people a permanent UBI. They would have given it. They absolutely would have given it. Why? Because the corporations really were imploding and really do want that money. They would have given up a hell of a lot, but instead we got nothing. We got nothing for the complete corporate takeover of our government. We got nothing for codified corporate socialism. Really embarrassing. I mean, it really is. This is Banana Republic-like stuff, man. Meanwhile, you got other nations giving people 80% of their wages and making sure nobody gets fired and it's just furloughed. Guys, we don't even have a situation here where you could just get health care. It's like, oh, you probably have to go bankrupt for that too. Oh, man. And the next thing is, watch. Since Bernie didn't win, now it's Biden. Biden is a committed neoliberal corporatist on economic stuff. So what's he going to do? Well, where can you make your concessions? If you're committed to neoliberal corporatism because you're bought by donors, where do you make concessions to the left? Where are they going to go? Cultural issues. Cultural issues. Come on, Joe. Let's be fake woke together. So as Rome is crumbling around us, and they can't even give a straight up $1,200 payment in a crisis, at least Joe Biden will probably put his gender pronouns in his bio. So there's always that,